goes down. We don't waste no precious time. All my friends in the loop, making up for teenage crime. We don't sleep when the sun goes down. We don't waste no precious time. All my friends in the loop, making up for teenage crime. We don't sleep when the sun goes down. We don't waste no precious time. All my friends in the loop, making up for teenage crime. Making up for teenage crime.
My name is Jennifer Button.
It's Tommy.
Josh.
Ollie. Joel.
Ben, Cyan Man cosplay.
My real name?
Yeah.
My real name is Thor, just like the superhero.
Liam.
Liam.
We don't waste no precious time.
My favourite superhero? Probably Thor. Yeah.
Deadpool.
Spider-Man.
Iron Man, probably.
Captain America.
Definitely Spider-Man.
Oh gosh, it's either going to be Spider-Man or Mystique.
It's a good thing you said Spider-Man now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Captain America. Star-Lord.
There's so many things I love about Marvel. There's all the action, and then there's also kind of like elements of there's so much about aesthetic and about glamour, and it's one of those brilliant franchises where you can it totally escapes reality. Like, it's set in our universe, but like a whole different version of it.
It takes you out of the normal world. It takes you to somewhere else where you can have a break for a while.
Probably like the consistency of like how they always do it really well and stuff, and like the storyline is always really
I like
strong.
big crossovers, like Infinity War just come out. It's just such a huge scale. It's phenomenal.
I think they're really good action films, action adventure, and there's comedy as well. They're just great all-round films.
Probably the relatability of some of the characters, like how mortal they are.
I suppose, particularly with the Spider-Man sort of stuff, it felt real, you know, it was a real kind of person, you know, not...
Yeah, he had like human troubles, you know, like in school, and he still had...
I'll let you answer first.
I don't know, I've just, I always loved the cartoons, especially like X-Men and stuff, and then there were the X-Men films, and then obviously when the MCU started from Iron Man, it's just been like a big interest. You know, it's something I've always liked watching, like, you know, and then eventually, you know, wanted to do the cosplay as well.
I guess it all just comes down to like enjoyment, and being able to connect with like people from all over the place just through like a common interest.
To me personally, it's what I do. I mean, I know there's groups of people that join together, and I know Comic-Con and stuff, but I come here to do it for me because I love films, and I love coming here and dressing up as my favourite characters. It's nice when you have friends who do similar things, but at the end of the day, it's me, it's what I love to and enjoy and stuff, so it's all about like me coming here, and it's a bit selfish because it's all about me coming here and just enjoying it to the full.
I think it's like people who love a particular thing, like everyone who loves Marvel, or that part of the Marvel fandom, and just have a passion for that.
It's great how it just brings people together as a community and stuff.
It's like family that support and encourage each other and help to fulfill the dreams of becoming their own character or superhero.
Family, you know. Yeah.
The fandom, I think. Without the fandom, the whole comics couldn't carry on, could they? You know, fandom's probably one of the main crops.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just sharing a lot of feel good. You know, there's a lot of goodwill and joining in with people and just be nice to people, you know.
Community. Yeah.
Stuff you love, I think. It's like if you're a fan of something,
I think it does in that it brings people a lot of happiness, and it brings like something that people can connect over that's outside of like normal everyday kind of life stuff. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I know some people who read the comics might see the films as not as good, but I'm not like that. I love everything to do with Marvel, whether it's the comics. I collect comics, Marvel comics, as well as films. It doesn't matter to me, but some people do let it affect them. They can only like comics and not like the films.
Yeah, I think it becomes more popular.
Yeah,
more people are aware of Marvel because of it.
Yeah,
I think they do. Yeah, I think. Well, for me personally, it's in, seeing the Captain America films has encouraged me to try and be a better person and to be more like Captain America.
Really depends, to be honest. Like, it really depends what they do and how much it affects. So.
Not particular for me.
No.
I don't know. I guess if something controversial happens, then it affects people.
yeah. I think Infinity War is probably the best bet because of what happened in that film.
It's a big shake-up.
And it divided a lot of fans of who died and what he did.
I would say so, yeah.
I mean, with any in Marvel films, they bring the child out in people, in adults, and they want to come to places like this where they can see other people and see other costumes and get pictures with people. It is super important for the Marvel films as well as the DC films. Not as much, I don't think. I mean, I think the DC comics are more important than the films, but it's different with Marvel. But when you come here, everyone just has fun and just loves being around each other. It's just positivity.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
More people will be like are interested in it, and it brings all the Marvel fans together. It makes Marvel aware of what people
like. Just around here, we've seen so many more like Marvel characters and stuff.
It's like build a community.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, because I think it's the fans that keep the films going, and without the fans' support, then there just wouldn't be Marvel films.
Yeah, like the fans influence a lot of what they put out because they want to please the fans at the end of the day. So.
But yeah, if there wasn't the fans, there wouldn't really be Marvel entertainment. You know, there wouldn't be anyone to entertain people who didn't want to watch it.
Yes. It's such a big source. Well, it's a big source of revenue for them and interest. You come here, you cosplay, and it inspires other people. They'll go and watch the films. They'll do the dress up and all that kind of stuff.
Well, if it wasn't for us, there'd be no film.
They need to improve.
Marvel get the characters down perfectly. When it comes to Deadpool, when it comes to Captain America, Iron Man, the differences in their personality and how they grow through the films, like Iron Man. There's Iron Man 1, 2 and 3, and then there's the Avenger films. They progress and you care about them through the films.
The Marvel heroes are all like honourable and they have like their own codes which they follow.
I think in comparison to DC, like Marvel always feels like it's quite hopeful and it's quite forward thinking and stuff.
The hero can be quite vague. It's like Deadpool, which you see as a hero, but he's not your standard, I'm going to save everyone hero because he just thinks about himself.
I think if they took them exactly from the comic books, they might be a bit kind of old school or old fashioned, but they make this heroes relevant for today, and I think that's a great draw about the films.
Some bits in the comics at the moment are a bit off, like some of the writing isn't great, but I think the movies are probably doing a lot better.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied.
I mean, some comics I really like.
Everyone has their own favourites.
But it's always nice and light-hearted kind of entertainment, I think, for the most
I'm pretty happy. I mean,
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it.
I mean, big change from like the original comic, but it's a welcome change. Welcome change.
It's about having people, I think, that have the best intentions but are not always necessarily perfect. You know, everyone has their flaws.
It's just, me personally, I am a good person anyway, without seeing Marvel films and things like that. But when I see Marvel films, it does give you this drive to be a better person, to show yourself as a role model. Especially coming here and seeing kids wanting to have pictures with you and stuff like that, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you need to be a good person and a good role model.
I think in real life it's a lot different, because it's like, obviously there aren't real superheroes, but there's like people who do a lot for charity, a lot for volunteering work, can be classed as superheroes because they save so many lives for doing it.
It means just helping people, like, you know, giving a homeless guy change, that's being the superhero to them.
It's a bit different in real life though, isn't it? You know, it's like a fireman's a hero. It doesn't mean that's not going to be a hero.
Someone who inspires others.
Yeah. Like, it's alright us dressing as superheroes, but I think like real heroes are people who do stuff every day, that nice, good deeds stuff.
Oh, just increasing brilliance, I think. The last few films have been fantastic and I'm really excited to see what they come up with next.
More characters that they're using in other films that they're going to bring out into new films that they're bringing out, and it's going to be so good to see.
I expect new characters, another big villain after Thanos.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue to be strong. Like, I think there's going to be so many more phases and films to go through.
More character deaths more than likely with Avengers 4. And just new characters being brought in.
I suspect more of the same, you know.
Action.
Yeah. A refreshing change, I think. Yeah.
Would I like to help though? Absolutely. I suppose it depends on what power I had, but I would absolutely want to use it to help people. I'm definitely not a villain character.
Definitely. In normal life, even if I didn't have any superpowers, I try to help as many people as I can. Just being a normal, good person and helping whenever I can. So if I had a superpower, I'd definitely help for the good and help as much as I could. The superheroes just show you how to be a good person, and if you're a good person, then everyone's a superhero.
Definitely. I think the ability to help people in day-to-day life, even if you don't have a superpower, it's just, what more could you want really? It's making people happy, so.
Yeah, it's the same, like if you just help anyone, just be a hero in their eyes, it's just great.
Definitely. Well, the whole Spider-Man thing, great power comes great responsibility, so if you can do the things that you can and you don't, that's on you.
If you have a superpower, you've got to do something with it, really.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Alan Appley. I'm a lecturer in media studies at the University of Wolverhampton. What I think makes Marvel films as a kind of industry interesting is that it's taken an already existing comic-based fan base into the world of cinema along with it. So in a sense it's already building on a mass market comic book audience. And you know that audience has been built on by the cinema, but it's largely already in existence with the comic book fan groups. In that sense, you know, it's playing to a strength that already exists, I think. And indeed, I mean, I think there are Marvel film audiences who, you know, would call themselves Marvel fans in their own right, without necessarily being purchasers of the comics themselves, which are the basis for the Marvel films. You know, I think the Marvel film universe has created a kind of separate but connected universe in its own right. you know, people dress up to go to Comic-Con. You know, they make their own costumes. So there's a real kind of interesting do-it-yourself ethic about Comic-Con, which I find fascinating. These are people who use comic characters quite often to explore, I think, aspects of their own identity. This has been really interestingly a case with the film Black Panther. And comics allow, through the use of imagination, through the imaginative use of character, it allows people to explore their identities, I think, and that's what Marvel does, really. These are not just blockbuster entertainment films, is what I'm suggesting. I think there is something much more interesting going on in these Marvel films. These are films that explore, in a very kind of stylised way, but they explore issues around good, evil, you know, looking after people, doing good work for society, and I think that's a valuable, it's a valuable contribution to wider public debate. And Comic-Con is it's a forum for people not just to dress up as characters that you and I might immediately recognise, you know, Superman, Batman, whatever, but the more obscure characters. And one of the, I speak as a parent of a daughter who you know, is a Comic-Con fan and goes sometimes as the most obscure characters, you know, from comic books that, you know, I've certainly never heard of, you know, and part of the joy is being recognised by like-minded people. So these are problems around identity, you know. Who should I be? Will society allow me to be who I want to be? If not, how do I handle those situations? And I think these are interesting films for that, in that respect. Comic-Con, they're clearly successful events. The fact that they've become an institution in their own right really is interesting. You're expressing a creative part of yourself when you go to Comic-Con in the costume you've made yourself. And that's enabling you to explore aspects of your identity. People used to say this about the internet, that the internet would allow us to explore different aspects of ourselves. Whether it's done that or not, I don't know. But certainly events like Comic-Con and drawing people into the Marvel universe and so forth, it seems to me to be clearly facilitating that kind of opening up to ourselves of kind of the desire to explore different characters. And you know, looking to the future, as you just said, Andy, I mean, hopefully that makes for a more tolerant society, tolerant of difference, tolerant of diversity, tolerant of mavericks, you know, of all kinds, and that can only be a good thing, I would hope. Mass media has those connotations of producing one piece of media and foisting it on an audience. You know, the old idea of broadcasting to an audience and seeing that audience as just one thing. The phrase you used, mass media, as a media studies lecturer, I mean, I can tell you that increasingly we're ceasing to use the phrase mass media because the nature of the media we encounter is much more diverse, much more targeted to specific needs, specific groups, specific individuals, specific cohorts of people. So I think it's already changing in that respect. You know, there are still mass media, you know, the Marvel films are still blockbusters, you know, they make massive amounts of money in the cinema. I think about comics and the Marvel films as just an example of that, you know, of one medium informing another medium, and what happens in film feeds back to comics as well. So, you know, it increases the comic book audience, it enlarges the audience, it makes people interested in comics and go and seek out new comics and so forth. I think, you know, these media feed off each other rather than cancel each other out, is how I think you should think about it. This is the future audience, you know, moving between comics, films, live events. They're participating, they don't see comics or films as something out there that they can't be part of. These films enable them to become part of the media. It's participatory in that sense. And, you know, you walk away from either Comic-Con or the Marvel films, having seen the latest film at the cinema, you come away with a little bit of the superhero inside you, don't you? Yeah, I mean, I suppose the key criticism is that this is escapist. That, you know, dressing up as a superhero is actually a way of escaping the real world.